Starting your own business is a dream for many people. You get to be your own boss, set your own hours, and there is no set limit to how much money and success you can achieve. But if you don't bring your dream to life, that's all it will ever be. So why is starting your own business so hard? In this video, I am going to discuss 7 reasons why it is so difficult to start your own business. We'll begin with some of the practical and technical reasons why people have trouble getting started and finish off with some psychological reasons that prevent people from realizing their business dreams. I'll also cover some great tips on how to overcome these obstacles and finally get your business off the ground. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Number 1. You can't come up with any good ideas. When you are considering starting a business, you have a million things going through your mind. I have been there. Maybe you want to invent something totally new and become the next big thing. Or maybe you want to start a business that already exists because you just want a nice, reliable income without the huge risk of failure associated with a true startup. Now, it's perfectly normal in the beginning to look at various ideas and options, but at some point, you need to start narrowing your focus. In my view, the ideal business should have these 4 characteristics. First, it should be profitable, or at least have the potential to be. Second, it should play to your strengths and interests. Third, it should be feasible, given how much money you have and your existing time commitments. Finally, the business should be able to grow and help you reach your financial goals. Try to consider these factors when looking at what type of businesses may be right for you. Now, I admit, those parameters are fairly broad, so if you are still struggling to narrow down your choices, or you have the opposite problem and don't have any ideas at all, check out my article below on how to start a business when you have no ideas, which includes an extensive ideas list. Number 2. You don't know how to get started. Many people have settled on a great business idea and they have a burning desire to get started, but they don't have the first clue on how to begin. The good news is that you have the important parts down. Having a great idea and the will to execute it are 2 huge factors in business success. But the lack of knowledge on taking the next step can be a hurdle that discourages a lot of would-be entrepreneurs from moving forward. If this is your situation, check out my Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Starting a Business below. I take you step by step through each phase of the process and offer great resources you can use to get through them successfully. You can also check out my video on the topic above. Number 3. You let technicalities trip you up. There is a lot of red tape involved in starting up a business. If you are going to set up a separate business entity, you are going to need a federal tax ID number, or EIN for short. You will also need to register your business with your state, usually with your state's Secretary of State or business agency. If you are going to be using a business name and logo, you will need to make sure it doesn't infringe on someone else's intellectual property and that it is available to use in your state. Hint: you can check the USPTO's trademark search tool to do your federal check. You can also check with your state's Secretary of State or similar agency if you want to check for available DBAs in your state. You will also need to open up a business checking account and get at least a general business license. Special permits may be required as well, depending on the type of business you will be operating. It can all feel a bit overwhelming, but the truth of the matter is that these are relatively small details. Yes, you need to get them done, but you can often hire services that can do them for you. For example, Incorporate.com can take care of a lot of the business setup for a relatively modest fee, at least compared to going to a lawyer. What really matters is coming up with the right idea, correctly analyzing your market and your competition, and coming up with a marketing plan that will get your business off the ground. Focus on getting these big things right and don't sweat over administrative details. Bottom line: tackle these things head on and do it one at a time, but don't stress over them, and certainly don't let them get in your way. If you are enjoying this video, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. It helps a lot and really motivates me to create better and better videos. Thanks. Number 4. You don't have the seed money. Some businesses require a lot of capital to get started, while others can be started with far less. But almost any business is going to require at least some money to get going. If you are strapped for cash and don't have that seed money, your business dream will remain just that, a dream. But there are ways to overcome this obstacle. The most obvious is just starting to save some money. You can also take advantage of online platforms to hold a virtual garage sale and jumpstart your savings. Check out my article below on how to sell your unwanted stuff online for some great ideas on how to do this. Once you've got some seed money, I guarantee you that your business dreams will feel less like dreams and more like an inevitability. 5. You are worried about financing your business. Financing can be a scary topic for many budding entrepreneurs, especially if you don't have great credit and a ton of resources. So it's completely understandable that you may be worried about how you will fund your enterprise. But don't let worry stop you. There are a lot of avenues you can explore. There is, of course, traditional funding through banks, including SBA financing, which often has less stringent requirements. But you can look at other options as well, including equipment financing, if most of your startup costs are around equipment, such as a laundromat or trucking business. Many of these types of lenders offer 100% financing options. You can also consider using investment partners. Now, you'll need to sell them on the idea, of course. You can go low-key by asking a few friends or family members. Or you can try to go bigger by seeking out angel investors and pitching your idea. Credit card advances are also an option, but I would look at them as something of a last resort due to high fees and interest rates that shoot up after the teaser period. 6. You get distracted with other things. Okay, now let's turn to some of the psychological things that can stand in the way of you starting a business. Perhaps one of the most common is getting distracted with other things. We live in a world where we are bombarded with options on how we can spend our time. There are a million things that demand our attention, including our job, our family obligations, our friendships, our religion, if you practice, and let's not forget about some of the biggest time sucks out there, entertainment and social media. While you may be really committed to starting a new business, these competing areas may force you to table your plans and distract you from moving forward. It happens all of the time, and it has happened to me. I had been seriously considering starting a blog about 7 or 8 years ago, but shelved it because my job started getting busy and I was dealing with raising a young son. But if I had powered through and just started, my blogging business would probably be several times the size it is now. My best advice on overcoming distraction is to just start your business as soon as you can, while it is still top of mind and you are brimming with enthusiasm over it. Do it, even if you haven't perfected the idea and even if you don't have all your ducks in a row. There's something magical about actually launching your business. It forces you to care about it on a level that you just can't when it hasn't launched yet. There is this undeniable feeling that you're vested now, and that often leads to growth and results. To be clear, I am not saying be reckless. You still want to do reasonable due diligence on your business idea. I'm just saying you are never going to have the answer to every single question or risk when you start, so if you wait for that day, it will never come. 7. You get cold feet. Starting a business can be scary. There is fear of losing money, fear of ridicule, fear of wasting a lot of time and energy, and fear that you may never actually be able to find success. Add them all up, and it can be a very natural thing for someone to start second-guessing their decision. But you need to know that nearly every single entrepreneur has felt this. So how do you overcome getting cold feet? You need to surround yourself with like-minded folks. Join forums or Facebook groups or in-person communities of people who are in the business you are looking to start. You will be exposed to amazing success stories and will find inspiration. And they can be a tremendous source of support when you are feeling discouraged. The cherry on top is that they can provide invaluable advice on how to overcome obstacles along the way, and can be a great way to expand your business network. So there you have it, 7 reasons why starting a business is so hard and some practical tips on how to overcome each of them. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't done so already. It helps a ton and I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.